Hey, so I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers like to talk about the bad or crazy things that happen to them, and they're not actually bad, they're just kind of bad or weird, and I thought, hey, I could do that. I just need to think of the right story. Let's see, Oh yeah, my sister cut my eyelid.
Let's talk about that.
Let's just rewind time back to 2002, where I was a little 2-year-old. When you're 2 or just under the age of 5, all you want to do is have fun. You crave for fun. So most kids just draw or watch TV or play with toys. But me and my sister decided that the games that already existed in this universe weren't good enough, so we had to develop our own new game. So we started talking, and someone said something about how drive-thrus were cool, and someone else said something about doctors being cool, and how they would be super cool if we combined them. And then we noticed that the dining table was separated into 3 parts, and we were like, that's perfect. The first window is for describing the medical issue. The second would be for solving that issue, and the third for paying for that issue. And we agreed that this game would be played and it would be called Drive-Thru Doctor. Best name ever. So, after we created that name, we had to decide who'd play the doctor and who would play the client. And I remember I really didn't want to play the doctor. The only cool doctors are the ones from Scrubs, so my sister agreed that she'd play the doctor for now. She sat down at the first window while I pretended to drive up in my Tesla or something. And I said, "Hello there, doctor. I have an infection on my eyelash." I don't know how I came up with that or if that's even possible. But my sister/doctor responded with, "I can take care of that at the next window." While I drove up to the next window, she got up and left the room. And she came back with scissors in her hands. She grabbed my head, I closed my eyes, and she cut it. And I started to cry. I knew what happened to my eyelid. I knew there was no going back, so I started crying so much. And my sister started yelling too. These child screeches caused both my mom and my dad to just rush into the room, and they saw how everything was laid out and knew what just happened. My mom considered taking me to the hospital, but she heard that they'll just give me stitches for that kind of injury, and stitches would lead to even worse scars, so she just put a band-aid on it and called it a day. While my mom was taking care of me, my dad sentenced my older sister to 5 minutes of basement time. And that doesn't seem that bad, but honestly, we all thought that basement was haunted, so to a 4-year-old, that's hell. But yeah, that was the story of how my sister cut my eyelid. And when I started school, I used to tell every kid this story, thinking I was so cool, and I used to even tell them that I went to the hospital to get stitches, but I didn't get any. Because as soon as my mom and dad walked into the room and saw me crying with my sister, I blacked out. So I don't really remember anything but waking up in a hospital, so I think my mind just made that up for me. But then I stopped telling that story to everyone, and then I found out that I didn't even go to the hospital, so I lied to a good 10 people? But yeah, I was no longer angry at my sister for the whole cutting the eyelid thing. But then I started makeup, and I realized, damn, your makeup is really based off your eye shape. And that cut in my eyelid created a weird wrinkle/scar. So now I can't do my eyeliner properly, I can't do eyeshadow properly, and it's all thanks to her. So when people compliment my makeup, I just rant about it and tell the story again. But now that I've made this video, people can just watch it whenever I need to explain it to someone. And then they'll also check out my channel, which is pretty good. So, yeah.